Hey guys, welcome back to Alternative Smallholding. There's Beardy Dude. There's the child. Hey Roo. It is Bank Holiday Monday here in the UK. It has been a gloriously warm and sunny weekend, and we are about to sit down to spend some time together as a family and do some preserving bits and bobs. I have a bunch of beetroot that I need to put up for storage, but there's a load that needs picking as well, so rather than doing 2 batches, I thought I'll come and pick the second batch too. And whilst I'm there, we should do a tour.
Yes.
We should actually do a tour. So we haven't done one since June, have we? No, Cheryl did our tour last month.
Nothing's changed.
No, it's a state, isn't it? It's horrible. Don't even bother watching. It's rubbish. Kidding, stay. Don't go anywhere. Right, we made it here. The sun is currently just behind the trees, so it's actually the perfect time to be here, isn't it? In, say, half an hour, in about half an hour, the sun is going to come from behind the trees. Roo's singing. I think she's singing the cranberries. She's singing the cranberries? She's singing the cranberries. Yeah, if you can sort out the hose pipe, I'm going to take you guys over to the half plot and show you what kind of state that's in right now, what we've got planned for it, and then we'll walk around and we'll talk about harvests that we've had, harvests that will be coming, and plans for next year. Okay, so it's probably no surprise to you that the half plot doesn't actually look that different. Now, the reason we haven't been making many videos, or there's actually a multitude of reasons why there's actually a multitude of reasons why we haven't been making many videos lately. But we have actually been here, but we've been doing the bare minimum. We've been doing weeding things that have got seed heads on, like taking those out and harvesting, and that's pretty much it. It's just been hard. I have actually filmed a lot of videos, but I haven't edited any of them. And that kind of enthusiasm shows in how this plot is looking, because it isn't great. So this was all of our new potatoes. They're our first earlies, our second earlies. They've been taken out, but as you can see, we didn't weed all of the dandelions and things out as we went. So that needs to be done, because if you can see this whole patch, this is about 12 foot wide by, say, 20 foot long. This whole patch is going to be a cut flower patch next year for my beautiful, beautiful friend's wedding. How much of them we use, I don't know, because I've never done a cut flower patch before. I've grown a lot of ornamentals, but I've never grown them specifically for cut flowers. So it's something that I'm really immersing myself in at the moment, researching what flowers are good for cut flowers in August. So if anybody's got any tips for cut flowers in August in the UK, drop them in the comments below, because I really need to get a wiggle on with it in about September time, because there's lots of things that need planting then to be ready for next year. So the greenhouse still isn't up, and that lot is our main crop potatoes. They don't look like they've done very well, but underneath they seem to be fine. We'll see when we take them up. But can I just say that if you have potato crops and you see these on them and you think, oh, we've got tomatoes, they're not. These are poisonous. So if you get these little berries on your potatoes, do not eat them. They're poison. The strawberries are patiently waiting to be transferred into the weed bed, also known as what will be the strawberry bed. And this is still going to be the pond area. We've covered it up for now with these frames. It looks such a mess, doesn't it? I'm just going to go ahead and call this the wild area, not the mess. This is just the wild area. This is left for nature. This is places where animals and bugs and things can hide, and it's good, because that's what we intend for it to be when we actually convert it. Hey butterfly. It will actually be a place for us to sit down and observe nature and be still and quiet, but also somewhere, there'll be a good pond in there, there'll be lots of native plants, wild plants, lots of things for pollinators, and it'll be good. It is a wild garden, that is the point, and that will be echoed with all the comfrey that's here, although I do want to take some of that out because it is encroaching a lot onto the rhubarb and raspberries, which are down here. Now, we don't have much rhubarb left because somebody wanted to weed kill some grass here and decided to spray of our rhubarb too. I hate weed killer at the best of times, but when you weed kill someone else's crops, it's just not on. It's... Ooh. So that's that plot now. The greenhouse is still waiting to be put up. The first early potatoes out and the main crop potatoes are still in, and the wildlife area is ready to be turned into a wildlife area, though leaving it actually makes it more wildlife friendly. You know what I mean. And here we are at the bottom of the big plot, and this is the flower bed. Right now the majority of this has gone over and gone to flower. The showstopper of the year was actually, sorry spider, I didn't want to destroy your web, was actually these Ami majors. Is there anything left that's white? You can see these little white heads here, so they look like cow parsley, but they're really, really nice. We had lots of calendula. The sunflower, that's the last one. As you can see, the leaves, the plant pretty much got decimated by slugs and then tried to bounce back, the poor thing. We've got the Helichrysum, which I've absolutely loved. I've saved some seeds from these the other day actually. They're really cool. It's the first time I tried them, and these were like 29p seeds from Lidl. This looks like another zinnia is about to flower because this is the only one we've had so far. But isn't it gorgeous? The sweet peas, they look really straggly, but they've been producing loads. And it really is amazing how just one little bunch of these flowers will send you a room. I'm really pleased that we actually got some of those, even if we did plant like absolute loads. I think I haven't got just like a handful, but just a few flowers really sent to the room. So I'm looking at the greenhouse. There's not much to show you in here. It is currently 48.2 degrees, so it's going to be a very quick tour. So let's go in. So we've still got some woad seeds here drying. They need to be bagged up because they're about to pop. Some of the pepper plants are coming back now, and it looks like they're going to flower again, whereas some of them are definitely dead. This is our watermelon plant. It goes all the way back here. This end is dead, and then it gets healthier and healthier all the way around, and now it's finally decided to set a fruit. Whether this is actually going to happen or not, I don't know, but at the moment we have a baby watermelon, guys. It's just peppers, tomatoes around here. This is demi-dove. That's ready to come off. Probably the only tomato I'll harvest today. And then more peppers, and some of them are definitely going back into bud. So look after these, and then if we get another small crop of like small peppers, that's great, that'll be a bonus. But other than that, not much going on in here. What I have done though is, sorry, it really was warm in there. What I have done though is I have started a whole load of seeds ready for August, and then I'll be doing more in September, and then I'll be starting some of the things in October as well, and I've been asked to do a video on that, and I intend to do so, so I'll show you what I've been doing soon. So this is our replacement cucumbers, and believe it or not, they're actually doing really well. They've really caught up. They're kind of like a mini size, so you don't harvest them as big cucumbers. Harvest them about that size, to be honest. And we seem to have quite a few in here. Well, we did. We picked about 6 of them the other day. All down there. Yeah. But they grow really fast. There's more down there. The plants are sprawling over these frames, and that seems to have done really well. In fact, I think I'm actually going to do that next year. What isn't doing well is the courgettes. We've got 4 plants. We've got nothing really coming off them. They're just these tiny little things on all of them. Every year I plant courgettes hoping that I will be inundated, as everybody tells me I will, and I'm obviously doing something wrong with them, because every year I get like 1 or 2, don't I? and this is like the 5th year running. Now I predominantly grow them for my mum because we wasn't that big a fan, but now we like them. So we discovered homegrown courgettes are actually really nice, as most homegrown things are, compared to what you buy in the shop. But I've got 2 yellow courgettes and 2 green, so that's 4 and nothing. Down here, this is okra. That's my okra. I mean, yeah. There is a baby okra. Look. The other day that was just a flower and I was really excited for that, but now I can see there's okra underneath. If I get just one okra, just one, out of the whole garden this year, I'll be happy. I need your assistance. Could you come and help me?
No.
I need you to measure something. So while Beardy Dude gets himself together, this row of tomato plants has done alright. We've actually had a couple of ripe ones off here. This is Curtis Cheek, and the tomatoes are a good size. These amethyst jewels come out pretty black on the top, but are yet to ripen. And this one is also amethyst jewel, but the fruits look completely different. They do ripen to look exactly the same, which I think is really interesting. So this is slow to get its anthracite, but once it ripens, the anthracite comes through. Whereas this gets the anthracite straight away. Oh, look, can you see? It's going pink. And goes pink that way. It's odd. They look the same once they're harvested anyway. These atomic grapes, there's a load on here. There's a load of these atomic grapes on here, but they really need to ripen off, and this branch down here has fallen down. I do need to tidy some up. And then this plant, this one that's kind of sprawling across the path, this is Spoon. So Spoon is a tiny currant tomato. It's absolutely delicious. Next year we're going to grow a lot of those, but we're going to put them in hanging baskets or in pots, aren't we? Because scavenging around on the floor to pick them up is just a pain. So this is our sweet corn. It is a monster, and some of them have 3 cobs on. Look, 1, 2, 3. In fact, I think most of them do. So we've not officially measured the standard size plants.
7 foot.
7 foot. So our corn is 7 foot tall. They're cool. They'll be ready soon. Look, the tassels are going brown. You know when they're ready, when the tassels go really dark brown. But I think these ones are going to be ready first. Can't wait. Hopefully at the weekend we can have a barbecue here. And we can pull some fresh sweet corn and dig up some fresh potatoes, a little bit of fresh salad, some cucumbers. It'll be yummy. But this lot may actually be one of the things that has gone well this year, which is good because not many things have.
It's good for children, isn't it?
Children of the corn. Sorry. What are you doing? Are you following me? Yes. Okay. Join us on the tour, dude.
I'm with you.
You're with me? Okay. So these are more tomatoes, as you can see, and some of them are falling down, but we do have some ripe Barry's Crazy Cherry, which are yummy. Very, very nice. Should I come clear at this point? This point where I'm walking around stuffing my face with tomatoes. If you've been following us for any amount of time, you will have heard me moaning, probably continually, that if I had one wish in the world, it would be that I could eat raw tomatoes. Yeah? Because I've been allergic to raw tomatoes for 20 odd years. And when I say allergic, I mean put me in a hospital, kind of like allergic and in crippling pain. But for some reason this year, I started with those little currant tomatoes, the spoons, and I've worked my way up to full-size beefsteaks, and I can eat these varieties, or most of what we've tried so far, most of them, heirloom, organic tomatoes. And I swear, I wake up every morning and I'm just like, I need to go get tomatoes. I need tomatoes. I have more tomatoes now. I need more tomatoes.
It's like, right.
I know. I was standing there looking at the plants going, ripen up already. Because I have gone so long, guys, without being able to eat tomatoes. You have no idea how good these tomatoes taste to me. They are absolutely amazing. And when I finish talking to you on this camera, I'm going to go around and find some more cherries and I'm going to eat them all to myself. They're amazing. And I don't seem to have any reaction to them. It's really, really strange. So that was some of those tomatoes. I'm going to pick some more of those in a minute. And between the tomatoes and the next lot of tomatoes over here, we have these. So this was the salad bed. It's all gone a bit array, to be honest. There are beetroots in here that I'm going to harvest tonight to take home. Some of them are small, like baby size, and some of them are quite sizable. The chard has gone to flower and we want more of it seeded, but the chard leaves are still perfectly edible, and this pink one is my favourite. It's just so beautiful. I keep tripping over that stick. Could you take that stick out for me, dude? Down here, this lot of beetroot. These are Chihuahua, I think. And there's some good sizes in there as well. So I'll be taking loads of these home later to pickle. And I think these ones are Crosby's Egyptian, but they don't seem to grow anywhere near as big, but their flavour is really, really intense. If you like that deep, kind of earthy beetroot flavour, Crosby's Egyptian is for you. Those tomatoes, yeah, they need sorting out. Thank you. Hopefully I won't trip over it again. This bed here, remember, was going to be the bean bed, and only a couple of the bean plants grew. I did put in some squash very late, and they are starting to trail now, but there's no flowers. And our dwarf bean plants either aren't producing anything, because they do seem to go through a dormancy stage and then produce again. So they're either not producing anything or someone's picking them, because we haven't had anything off them for about a week now. Those lots there, that's turnips and radish, and there's a roe cucumber at the back. That's where our onions were, and they haven't done great, but they haven't done terribly. They'll do okay. And then this, sorry, I'm eating some beans. This is our bean arch. What happened to the bean arch, dude?
It's an unfinished project.
It's an unfinished project. Yeah. I mean, it works. Technically it works, so it's fine.
Arching.
It's arching, indeed. But it doesn't have its strut across the top. In fact, the struts on the side are too low. That one on the end is kind of falling outwards, and they're all different sizes. Why are they all different sizes?
That's what nature intended.
That's what nature intended. That's how it's meant to be. But it works, right? The beans are climbing, and that's all that matters. Well, what I didn't think, sorry, what?
Not blown over.
It's not blown over, you're right. But is that because of the windbreak that we've got at the side of it? It has been major windy. See, what I didn't consider when I planted these sweet corn next to this bean arch is that this sweet corn would cast a load of shade. And if you look down, it's the plants on this side that are getting more sun that have done well, and the ones on that side done pretty much nothing. We did a second planting of red noodle beans, and these are it. They are still not going great. But then I did plant some on this side too, and there's nothing down there either. But we have a bean arch, and we have sweet corn. Right, going on up the plot. That's what we've done so far. Okay, the fruit section. These apple trees, this little one, which is an early, which is our one, and this one here, we've taken all of the apples off this because these were looking amazing. I mean, there's a couple of babbers, but nothing great on there. They looked fantastic, and to be honest, some of them are starting to get bugs going in them. I almost forgot to show you the brassica cage. Now, we did have a few instances of cabbage white butterflies getting in here, and I can't actually easily show you what's going on in the cage. Can you see? We have some cabbages forming down here. Their heads are forming now just there. These ones in the middle are doing okay, and then these, they have sprouts forming on them. But I don't really want to mess with the cover because, knowing me, I won't put it back together properly again, and we'll have more butterflies getting in there. There's not many flying around now, but there's definitely some. This herb bed is needing a prune and some containing. The woad is finished. The tansy, you see these beautiful buttons of yellow? Aren't they gorgeous? These I'm going to harvest and send them to Cheryl, I think. You said you needed them, didn't you? You can use them for something? For dyeing your wall, wasn't it? So I'm going to get those for you. So, Homestead in the Highlands, expect a whole load of tansy sometime soon. What's up, Papa? Right then, we are at the top part now. The rhubarb is still going strong, but I won't really pick any more from that now. There is a big spider. I'm not going to destroy its web. So these are the currant bushes, which are done, and the tomatoes, which are not Amish paste. Look, there's one starting to ripen. What a novelty. But a couple of them are toppling over, but they're actually really healthy. I need to stake them up a bit. And down this end, this is asparagus seed head. That's always falling over and in the way. But we've got some celery that I use for like stocks and things. There's some tomatoes in here that aren't being greatly productive, but at least the space is being used. Same for these beetroots. And then that's radish going to seed. These guys, guess what these are? These, finally, we have some chickpeas. Attacked by flies. Yeah, finally we have some chickpeas. Now it is worth noting that when chickpeas are in flower, as these are, then they can cause a photosensitivity on the skin similar to something like hogweed or even parsnips. So if you are growing chickweed, I think everyone grows chickpeas, then beware when they're in flower. Although to be honest, you're all probably much further ahead than I am. I'm just happy to have some. I'm happy to have some chickpeas. Just a couple, just to see what they're like, see if they're worth more space and trying harder next year. But I'm hoping to get a couple. And these here are our next sowing of beans. So these are dwarf beans. They've actually come up really well, so I'm pleased with those. And I've actually sown another lot of dwarf beans, which are in seed trays at the moment in modules. They're going to be waited for a bed to be cleared out, and then they're going to be put into there. So hopefully we will have beans now until frost, because we didn't do any climbing pole beans this year. That's a marrow, apparently a giant marrow, but that's not doing anything. It just keeps getting eaten by the slugs. This butternut squash is doing nothing, and this butternut squash is starting to trail, but equally doing not very much at all. We did have these lamp shades around them that Terry gave us, and that did give them a good start, but after that they've just done nothing. In comparison to these, see, I planted buttercup squash on the edge of this bed, here and here, and we have some really nice fruits forming, but I think that's the only squash plant that's actually really going to produce, other than, where are you? Down there, we've got an acorn squash. This is a festival, and I think it did have 2 on it. Yeah, there's another one down there. So that's got 2 on at least. And then this has thrown off, and I thought this was another festival, but it looks like I may actually have a yukikuri squash. Fingers crossed, because I was really sad that none of them survived. So hopefully I've got my labels mixed up and we actually do have a curry squash. This is the Helichrysum. This is the pink one. So that's what it looks like when it's closed up. And then it gets these lovely like yellow fuzzy. They're so fuzzy. Compared to the strawiness of the outside, these are so fuzzy. And some Crocosmia lucifer that I put in last year, just when we got the plot. And then we've got our Vietnamese coriander, strawberries, mint and all that in that area. That's filled out nicely. It looks good now. So this bed... Oh, also we have a volunteer tomato. I don't know where it's come from, but I'm just going to leave it. So up here, the vertical growing hasn't done great, but we've got something. And then there's this. sun is coming through the trees, that's why I've gone like orange. I'm sorry, can you believe how many tomatoes are on this one truss? Look how many tomatoes are on this one truss. And these are black crim, so they're not, you know, they're not little tomatoes. They're quite big. I'm really impressed with those. And I think this one, this Kosovo cooking tomato may actually be our largest tomato. It's quite hefty and it's still got a bit of growing to go yet. So the tomatoes are looking great, but they're not ripening. And it's getting really, really annoying. There are so many tomatoes here. There is so much potential for food here, feeding the family, and yet I can't pick them. We're getting a couple of cherry tomatoes at a time, and it's really, really frustrating. I'm hoping that this glorious weather that we're having at the moment is going to help like kick them along a little bit, but who knows. I'm really not a fan of green tomato chutney though. These sun gold, let's try them again, because remember last time I said they were disgusting. I don't get the obsession with sun gold. I don't think they're very nice at all. I really don't.